Have you ever noticed how your voice disappears exactly when you need it most, how your mind goes quiet, even though you were just rehearsing the perfect sentence in your head, how you feel your chest tighten the moment you try to speak? You know what you want to say, you've played it out 100 times. But the second the spotlight of attention lands on you, everything inside you freezes. It's like your thoughts slip through your fingers, and your voice gets swallowed by something older and deeper than the present moment. And you wonder why something so simple feels so impossible. Here's the thing, silence is rarely about not having anything to say. Silence is often the result of a nervous system that learned, long before you were old enough to notice, that using your voice wasn't always safe. Maybe you grew up in a home where speaking up was punished or mocked. Maybe you learned that your opinions didn't matter, that your emotions were too much, that your needs were inconvenient. Maybe you learned that the safest version of you was the quiet one, the one who didn't make trouble, didn't push back, didn't risk being misunderstood. And this is where it gets interesting. Even though you've grown, even though you've changed, your body still responds as if you're stuck in the past. Your nervous system still treats speaking up like stepping into danger. So when you're in a conversation and someone asks your opinion, your body reacts before your mind can intervene. Your heart rate rises, your thoughts scatter, your breathing changes. You feel yourself shrinking inward, searching desperately for the right words, yet unable to grab even one. And it feels like failure, like you're somehow weak or broken. But here's the truth, nothing is wrong with you. Your reaction makes perfect psychological sense. Your silence isn't a flaw, it's a learned survival response. You didn't choose it, your body chose it for you. Think about how many times you were told to be careful with what you said, how often you watched people explode or shut down around you. How many moments from childhood taught you that your voice could create conflict or disappointment or embarrassment? Your body remembers those lessons more clearly than your mind does. So even today, as an adult, the moment you try to speak your truth, old fears rise like shadows you never realized were still following you. Fear of taking up space you were never taught you deserved. And yet there's something else happening underneath. You actually care. You want to say the right thing. You want to show up well. You want people to understand you. That pressure, that desire to get it right, is exactly what makes your mind shut down. Perfectionism silences people far more effectively than ignorance ever will. You're not quiet because you lack intelligence. You're quiet because you're trying too hard to not make mistakes. Imagine if your inner voice had room to breathe. Imagine if you didn't have to filter every sentence, rehearse every interaction, or overthink every possible outcome. That version of you is already there. It's just buried beneath years of conditioning telling you that your safest option is silence. You've probably noticed how easily your thoughts flow when you're alone, how articulate you are in your mind, how much clarity you have when the pressure is gone. That's the real you. The problem isn't that you don't know what to say. The problem is that your body doesn't believe you're safe enough to say it. And the moment your body senses risk, even imagined risk, it shuts everything down to protect you. But here's something powerful. The moment you understand that your silence is a defensive response, not a personal failure, everything starts to shift. You stop blaming yourself. You stop calling yourself socially awkward or shy or broken. You realize you're someone whose voice was never nurtured, someone whose communication was shaped by fear instead of encouragement, someone who learned to survive by shrinking. And once you understand that, you can begin to change it. Not by forcing yourself to speak, not by pushing yourself into discomfort, but by teaching your body that it's finally safe. You start small, tiny moments where you allow your voice to appear without overthinking, without pressure, without perfection. You let yourself say something imperfect. You let yourself stumble. You let yourself exist without editing. Little by little, your voice returns. Your thoughts stay with you instead of scattering. Your chest doesn't tighten as quickly. Your silence no longer controls you. And one day, without planning it, you speak up naturally in a moment that would have terrified you before. That's how healing happens, not in one dramatic moment, but in the quiet reclaiming of the parts of you that fear once held hostage. So the next time you freeze, remember this: your silence is a story, not a flaw. A story of a younger you who needed protection. A story of survival, not weakness. You are allowed to use your voice even if it shakes. Your voice matters. Your presence matters. And the world needs to hear you, not the edited version, not the rehearsed version, but the real, imperfect, honest you.